Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Outside Looking In. My name is Bruce Negger, and we're talking about the issues that emanate from Montgomery County and beyond. How you doing today? I'm doing all right because it's Saturday. That's right, giving you a weekend podcast. Normally I do these during the week, but today I found some time. I didn't have any time during this week. You know why? Because I got laid up. And why? Because I found my kryptonite. It is called the COVID shot. The COVID shot lays me up and knocks me down. I'm not taking a full 10 count. I got a standing 8 count most of the time. Actually, the first time I took the 2 Modernas, the second Moderna, that was a 10 count. I was out. Chills, the whole 9. This time I took the Pfizer. Mixing it up a little bit. Playing, hedging my bets. Well, hedging my bets. I went in there. I signed up for my booster shot because it was tough to get around here for a little while, or so it seemed. And I thought I was getting Moderna because I went to CVS. And now CVS says all they got is Pfizer. And the guy tells me, you're going to take the Pfizer shot? I was like, what am I going to do? Wait another 3 weeks, 4 weeks? And, the research came out. My friend Tim was telling me about the research on Pfizer. He says it might be a little bit better. We'll take his word for it. We took the Pfizer. I just didn't feel like fighting, getting up, or arguing. Also took the flu shot for the first time in my life. A lot of people say you should take the flu shot. I don't know. I didn't know. I took it. My dad said, take it. What are you, a schmuck? Do it. That's exactly what he said. What are you, a schmuck? Go take your flu shot too. But this is like kryptonite. It laid me out. This time I was out for the Pfizer shot, put me for a standing 8 count. I didn't feel awful. I didn't get the chills and all that kind of stuff, but I did not feel good. Aren't you glad I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked how I was doing. But that's my kryptonite. Starting to feel a little bit better, so I didn't have time because I don't think I could rant and rave. I couldn't get the energy. It would have hurt. My bones would have hurt to be yelling and screaming again. But I'm not yelling and screaming today because that's all about positivity, right? It's Christmas season, so we got to be positive. So I was sitting around today. I was making my Christmas list, and, the family's asking me what I want for Christmas. I said, this year, I got it good. I don't want the winning lottery ticket. I don't want, any of that kind of stuff. But I said, get me a hammer, a crowbar, and a sack that has like a good sack that could hold a lot of Halloween candy as well. Because I'm going out and I'm going to smash and grab. That seems to be December's word, smash and grab. Happening in San Francisco, happening in Chicago, happening at a neighborhood near you. Can you believe this? Seriously, when did the United States, all these major cities, turn into Gotham City? Like gangs of crime gangs running around, smashing and grabbing. Let me get that, let me get this, let me get that. Clearing out Rolexes. You got to put your stuff on the second floor now. You can't even put your good goods on the first floor. Logistically, if you have an department store that has 2 floors, you better put that stuff upstairs. Because maybe you could tackle these guys, because according to Mayor Lightfoot of Chicago, it's on you. It's on you, department store, to stop this crime. I don't know, about a year or two ago, we used to have something called a police force. That when you backed them, and you respected them, that they used to take care of crime. Now, not so much. Why? Because they're like, why am I going to take care of crime? Why am I going to bother? Because guess who's going to get prosecuted? Guess who's going to get stuff thrown at them? Guess who's going to be on the wrong side of everything? The police. 5-0. Not anymore. But Mayor Lightfoot, that was great. Businesses should protect themselves. When did that happen the last time? When we had the strikes in the 1800s? When get the Pinkerton guards? Is that what we should have? Pinkerton come back in? And you think about it. What's going to happen the first time that one of these guards at these businesses that were protecting themselves actually shoots somebody? Because they sure as hell are clubbing them to death. You know what I mean? They're gonna fight these gangs with guns, and or crowbars, and or with a billy club. That's not happening. That's not happening. And so once the first guy shoots somebody, or takes excessive force to somebody, forget about it. These private firms are going to be backing out too. Lawlessness. It's Gotham City. It's seriously, it's like the underbelly in those Christian Bale films. It's like there's the underneath Gotham City. Crime gangs running around, doing whatever they want. And the thing about Mayor Lightfoot there too, it's just not about the property. It's not about insurance. It's not about anything else. I had a niece working at Walmart for a while. Not at Walmart, at Walgreens, a drugstore. So, you should know it. They're everywhere, them and CVS, right? So anyway, she was working there. She hates the job. Hated the job. Switched out, did something good, different, working with kids now. She loves it. So it's not her, not a malcontent, not anything of that sort. But she didn't like the job. She's 17, 18 years old. Who's she stopping? And then if these people come in and she sees that violence and that crime in front of her, you don't think she's going to be traumatized? You don't think people are going to be afraid to go shopping? You know, even if there's a gunfight and they win, the security force wins, you don't think there's going to be trauma to that? That people should see it? And even if there's not trauma to it, imagine you shopping in a CVS and a gang comes in. You run to the back of the room because everybody's swiping out the Pampers and all of this other stuff, let alone the Rolexes at Macy's or anything of that sort. Come on now. Come on. You want lawlessness? And I'm reading about Columbia University. They just had 2 people killed up there in Columbia University in New York. And I say that because it's an area that I used to be in and a place that I used to know pretty well. And Columbia had its heyday. Its heyday when New York City was going and it was crime free and it was clean. You know, crime was at an all-time low. Columbia couldn't, that was one of the Ivies you wanted to go to again. Because, it's in New York City. It's not in such a great neighborhood. Every time I grew up to my college years, like, well, I don't know about Columbia. You might not want to go there. It's just not in such a great neighborhood. Well, guess what? It's not a great neighborhood again. And Columbia, the students and the unions on there, they don't want New York City police to be on their campus. Okay, you handled the murder. I mean, it's... Where am I going with this? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this because no one knows where they're going with this. The world has gone crazy. And if you don't think so, just ask me. Because I think so. I mean, people telling people to do it by yourself. Joe Biden and his press secretary, right? Oh, it's a first world problem that you can't get your own treadmill. No, the ports are a problem. They are a problem now, and it's, in my opinion, it's creating inflation as well because nobody can get the gifts. Nobody can get the goods, not the gifts, the goods. And, even if it's about a treadmill or not about a treadmill, I know I can't get that part. I can't get this. Business can't run. I can't get stuff from China. I work in a business where I sell papers, fold-out pocket brochures. It's called Z-Card. If you ever want to get one, check it out, www.zcardna.com. That's the only plug that's ever been given on this program, and that's because I work there, so step off. But anyway, we make fold-out paper brochures. Patented product. It's great. It's wonderful. But guess what? We're running out of paper. There is no paper in the United States. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Well, you don't know what the hell else is missing. Only the people inside know. I called somebody up and I told them, I said, well, I can't get you this paper, but I can get you that paper. And you're the third vendor to call me today to say that I had a problem with paper. Hey, it's here. It's washed up on our shore. And you know where it is? It's not washed on our shore. It's docked 150 miles outside the port of California, of Los Angeles. That's where it is. I don't know. Joe Biden wants to fix every problem possible, build it back better, do this better, that better. How about you get the ports better? Focus on one damn thing. One thing. Everybody's got all the issues, right? Everybody can solve everything. You can't solve everything. Focus on the stuff you can solve. And if you can't find an answer for it, search for it. Get a think tank together, a blue ribbon panel. Get something done. Sick and tired of this. I really am. I mean, inflation, and all of this. Oh, it's transitory. No, it's not transitory. It's right here. It's rising in front of your face. Stop burying your head in the sand. And all these politicians, whether it's Biden or whoever, and Trump did the same thing with COVID. So I don't want to hear it either. It's not really a problem. Okay, it's not really a problem. And go back about 7-8 shows ago, and you'll find out about me what I said about that. The reason Trump annoyed the junk out of me because of that is because it was about the economy. He was going to get elected on the economy, and he decided to just piss it away. And now Joe Biden, I mean, what are you doing? Last night he's on Jimmy Fallon. Oh, good. That's where I want my president, on the Jimmy Fallon show. Maybe they played karaoke together, And they asked him, do you believe in Jimmy Fallon had the guts to ask him, actually, would you believe this? Do you believe in opinion polls? He goes, do you look at opinion polls? He goes, not anymore. Maybe when they're in the 60s. Well, Joe, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That you and Kamala not doing the job, not getting it done. Your young, fresh, progressive staff stinks. They stink too. Sometimes we have to take experience. I'm all for this. This is a tangent, but I'm all for young, fresh ideas. But to me, young doesn't really that's not really an adjective that excites me anymore. Maybe because I'm older, it doesn't excite me. Because I was watching a hockey game last night, and they were talking about the Buffalo Sabres. And for everybody who doesn't know about hockey, let me just tell you, the Buffalo Sabres stink. They're the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're the Houston Rockets. Whatever sport you're watching, they stink. Right? But they have a lot of young talent, young, hungry talent. You know what? They got two guys who are young and talented. Just because you're young doesn't make you good. And that's the key point. I mean, young gives you new ideas, gives you a different perspective. Maybe you can relate a little bit better. But when you're just part of one of these things, how do you relate when you're you're the mayor of an Indiana town, and now you're transportation secretary? Poof, overnight. And you're not ready for it. You don't have any experience for it. Sadly, Hillary Clinton was the most experienced president we ever would have had. Secretary of State, Senator, First Lady. She didn't make it because she's unelectable. That's her fault. But she would have been the most experienced president we ever had. And you know what? Based on experience, she would have gotten my vote until she opened her mouth. Oh, the arrogance sometimes, right? That's arrogance. We can delve into that, but I don't feel like it. But seriously, Joe, focus on the job at hand. Focus on fixing one problem instead of spending trillions of dollars to fix them all, and they won't even fix them enough. It's great. I was reading the New York Post because I told you I read the New York Post and the Washington Post. I'm all posted up. I'm in the low post. I'm in the high post. I'm kicking out behind the back passes. I'm taking 3-pointers from the top of the key. That's what I'm doing because I'm all posted out. But anyway, I'm reading the New York Post, and there's a thing about covering up Chuck Schumer, senator from New York, the senior senator from New York, who has a press conference every Sunday because there's nobody other than me who likes his own voice better. So anyway, he goes out and he says, what we're going to do is we're going to think about covering up the Bronx Expressway. It's going to be $1 billion project, but we're going to cover up the Bronx Expressway and get rid of the racism that was there back in 1945 or 1940, whatever, when Robert Moses built this. Robert Moses built an expressway that ruined the Bronx. It ruined white people. It ruined black people. It ruined the burgeoning Hispanic community. It ruined Jewish people. It ruined Catholics. It ruined everybody. It ruined the Bronx. It didn't just go after one person. It ruined everybody. It ruined everybody. Neighborhoods decimated, okay? So let's call that what it needs to be called. It was ruined everybody. Nobody likes to cross Bronx. And now it was funny because my wife years ago when she first moved to New York with me, or when we first moved to New Rochelle, she's like I told her, I said, whatever you do, I know you don't know the roads around here. You haven't driven in New York. I said, whatever you do, stay off the Bronx Expressway. It never goes. She calls me up one time. She goes, Bruce. I'm like, what's Gina? Gina, what's the matter? She goes, I figured it was only like 1 in the afternoon. It wouldn't be a problem. But I'm caught on the Bronx Expressway. I know you told me to never go on it. And I knew never to go on it, but I did. I couldn't believe that there would be traffic at 1 in the afternoon. There's traffic at 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, blah, 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 blah. Traffic. Terrible road. Terrible. You think about the 290 or 295s or 495, same thing. It's a terrible road, but it's never clean. It's not at 11 o'clock, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's never clean. But anyway, so Chuck Schumer is talking about with the Bronx redevelopment community, the build over the Bronx Expressway community leaderboard. They want $1 billion to create like tunnels for the Bronx. $1 billion. There's only $7 billion being out there. That's what I was saying about this Build It Back bill, is that everybody's going to throw their hands up there for some pie in the sky projects, and there's not going to be enough. It's just going to be enough to cover the debts. You know, it's like when you go to a radio station or something and you win $1,000. Ooh, $1,000. Awesome. What can I buy? Right? You think about what you can buy and like, oh, let me be sensible and cover this to the debts. And then you realize you spend $1,000 in debts and you still need another $1,000 to pay more debts. That's what's going to happen with this bill. It's not going to stimulate anything. And all this stuff. It's like, that's the other thing, too. It's like with the child credits and all of this kind of stuff that's getting back. People are banking this money. They're not spending it. And you're like, well, the consumer spending is much higher. Well, consumer spending went to nothing last year. Couldn't buy a damn thing. We're trying to buy toilet paper. That's where the money would have went last year. But I don't know. I mean, fix the problems. Fix the smash and grab. Fix the ports. Come on. At least pretend like you're doing something, you know? At least focus on it. Lawlessness. The people in Chicago, the businesses in Chicago should protect themselves. Well, Mayor Lightfoot, I guess that's the same thing you're talking about the people on the south side of Chicago. They should protect themselves too, right? 500 murders. Philadelphia, 500 murders. Smashing records. See, the year's not even over yet. Homicides on the rise. This on the rise. Because the cops don't want to do the damn job. Would you? Would you the way it's going? And I know they're bad cops. I know they're SOBs in there. They're guys that you went to high school with. You're like, oh, he's a cop? Figures. You know that, and I know that. But still, with nobody there, what the hell is going to happen? I sure as hell ain't prepared to defend myself. And then when people, and then you just give rise. You just give rise to that right wing that you hate so much. Well, we need the guns in the house because we have to protect ourselves. Tell me about their arguments wrong now. And I'm for gun control. I'm for limiting guns and handguns, etc., and assault weapons. But tell me that their argument isn't right now. Because pretty soon it's going to go into home invasions. Carjackings in Montgomery County, right here where I live, not New York, right here where I live, are up 25 to 50%. Carjackings. And I was reading the story in the Washington Post about it. I mean, I knew it because we get the warnings, but I was reading the story in the Washington Post. Lady was traumatized. They said she was in the police in the station filling out the report, and she was there 4 hours later, and her hands were still shaking. Does anybody need that? It should be seldom and rare. Shouldn't be a common occurrence. But if you don't want a police force and you don't want to enforce the law, if you want to have no bail, if you want to have all of this stuff, all these progressive movements, you're going to progress yourself right out of civilization. That's what's going to happen. So anyway, get me that hammer, crowbar, and sack, because that's what I want. Because I figure, you know what? I could get a lot of loot. Loot, a word that I haven't heard since Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. I'm courageous. I'm the frog, see? I'm going to smash and grab, see? Get my hammer, crowbar, and a sack, see? Get me some loot. Steal me a pocket watch. The baby did it. I mean, I make a joke of it, but it's not a joke. And it's scary. Because it's going to wash upon your shore one time, and all you progressive people who don't believe in law and order. And I'm not even talking about crazy stuff. I'm not even talking about hardcore right wing. I'm talking about law and order, where I could call 911 and someone's going to help me. Help me. And help you prevent crime, right? Eric Adams, mayor of New York, or the mayor-elect, going in there, he goes, yeah, I'm going to bring back the high crimes unit. Because people, I don't care what color you are, you do want some safety, right? They took the police officers out of schools in Montgomery County, which I thought was drastic. But, there's a rise in assaults in the schools now. Because there's nobody to deal with it. If you're a teacher, what's your job as a teacher? To teach, not to be afraid. That's the one thing I will back every teacher on. All right? And student, your job to go to school, and that's your job, right? Your job is to teach. Your job is to be a student and go to school, not to be afraid. And I'm not talking about bullying. I'm talking about real ass crime. Getting your teeth knocked in. Getting threatened, getting thrown to the ground. That's the stuff I'm talking about. I'm not talking about saying, oh, look at your haircut, you sideshow Bob looking. Hey, when's the flood coming, you high-knickered kneed? Come on. Nobody deserves to live in fear. That's my wish every night when I pray before I go to bed. I said, God, don't let people live in fear. And I understand you could say, hey, Bruce, the police department, people of color live in fear. Yes, they do. I don't think it's right. But abandoning a police force, defunding a police force, not supporting people who are trying to protect you as well? I don't know. I don't know. You figure it out, right? Because that's what this world's coming to do. We're hiring politicians telling us that we should figure it out. Psaki there, that's who it was, the press secretary. Oh, it's your first world problem with the treadmill. It's not about the treadmill, you idiot. Seriously. And if it's not worse, if it's not bad enough, let's, CNN, right? The big provider of 24-hour news. Ted Turner, thank God you got out of there. Sell all that damn thing. Because CNN, what does it mean? It means your anchors are like manipulating the news. Chris Cuomo helping his brother, getting information, dirt on the ladies who accuse Cuomo of sexual assault or sexual harassment. Meanwhile, he's getting his own. Finally, they fired him. Good. Finally, they fired him off of Sirius XM. Good. Using his sources. Don Lemon using his sources to tell Jesse Smollett that, they were going to prosecute him and they think it's a fake thing, but that's okay. It's okay. Let me call this guy up. Let me call the newsmakers up and tell them that what I know from my department's research and fact finding. Let me tell them what I know so they can protect themselves. Don Lemon, you're next. See ya. Bye-bye. And Jesse Smollett, you talk about something that's ridiculous. I mean, seriously. I don't know. He's an actor, so I guess he had every prop in the book. But when you stage your own hate crime against you, I mean, he had the script down. He had the check boxes. 2 guys in Magna hats. Make America Great hats. Yelling racial epithets, yelling at me, racial slurs, etc. And this is the one that always got me. This is the one that I said can't be real. Downtown Chicago, they also had a noose. Who carries a noose? It better be on a full rope. Because what's the point of carrying a noose? I mean, who designs a noose to go beat up somebody and lay it out there with a Magna hat and all of that kind of stuff? That was the point where it's like, that's the tipping point. You went over the line there, Mr. Smullet. You went over the line. Absolutely ridiculous and crazy and all of that kind of stuff. Use your brain. But then again, you probably didn't have one because when you're going to stage your own hate crime, you're like, I better go over the top. Check, 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 check. You are not a mastermind criminal. That's what I know for sure. It was unbelievable. A noose. Because I want to make a disclaimer here because you feel like you have to put a warning on everything. I don't think it's right. A noose. I'm not laughing at a noose. Do not take my words and misconstrue them. I am not laughing at a noose. I am laughing that this guy put together all of this prop bag because he's an actor. So he got a prop master to put all the things on the set. He's set dressed is what he did. And that's what I'm laughing at. Someone hangs a noose in your yard, bad news. I'm not for it. I'm not even close to for it. As a matter of fact, I think it's ignorant and hateful. Yes, I do. But then when you try to use it to frame somebody else or to get your career going, well, then I think it's ignorant and shameful and hateful as well. There are 2 sides to this kind of stuff. I'm mad today, right? It's Christmas time. I should be lightening up. I'm going to have a party this afternoon, see some friends and stuff. But I'm mad. You know what else made me mad? I got suckered. I shouldn't say this. I should not say this because I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. It was Black Friday. My wife wants a gift, so I go online to get a gift. I'm getting a coffee maker. She doesn't listen to this podcast, so I could say whatever. I got her a diamond ring, a new car. I'm going to get her a Lexus with a bow on top. No, I'm not. But anyway, I was getting her a coffee maker. And there was a website, KeurigCoffeemaker.com. It wasn't Keurig, but it looked real. It was real. It sounded real. And Schmucko just spent, and their list price for this single thing, single K cup, whatever, it was reasonable. It wasn't like so cheap. The thing was on sale for $69, and they had it for like $59 or $49. It was, because sometimes when things are so cheap, it's not real. But anyway, the website was fantastic. It had links and went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I can't find it. They say, oh, your stuff is shipping out. They sent me 3 emails, so that was great. They were quick enough to send you the email, but then I realized there was no tracking numbers, no nothing. And guess what I heard? Mwah, 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 mwah. Taken, tooken, token. I got all 3 of them. Because, is there anything worse than that? You know what? The lesson learned. It took me, the internet's been around for how many years? Finally, I've got taken. Called up Capital One. I said, hey, I need some help. They're like, we'll help you. We'll see what's going on. So I contested these charges and see if I could get my money back. But I went on to scam.com and they're like, oh, this website, Keurig sale, whatever. It has a 0% reliability. It was so damn good. It looked so damn good. What do I know about coffee makers, right? It's like, let me go on here. But I'll tell you, that's why Target, Macy's, Best Buy, Bed Bath & Beyond, that's where I'm going from now on. Forget it. It was a $49 lesson because I'm never doing that again. Never doing that again. If it doesn't come from a reputable company, I'm not buying it. A website, schmuck. Oh, makes me so mad. Oh, I was taken, tooken, token. Fake website. It's like a fake podcast. Hey, I got smash and grab goods. So if you want to call me up, number 646-250, ha. Not giving out my phone number on this. What are you, nuts? Ooh, what else do I got going on? Going to the doctor. Annual checkup. I'm not worried about that. But the worst part about going to the doctor now is I have this doctor because of insurance. When I first got down here, they had to put me in December because of insurance cycles. So December, you don't worry about it. You get something December 1st, December 10th, fine. But I'm like at the 18th, I got to go. The 18th or the 20th is my doctor's appointment. And you know why that sucks? Because all the holiday parties come out, the cookies, this, that, and the other thing, some beer drinking, etc. Doctor, every time he tells me, he goes, Bruce, you got to lose some weight. I go, oh, why can't we have this in June when I'm thin? I'm out there running, mowing the lawn, doing what I got to do. Right now, I'm just being fat slob watching the Rangers on the couch. The Giants on the couch. Eating cookies that Gina makes. And Gina's no help. She's no help. She's out there making cookies, all kinds of cookies, chocolate chip cookies, peanut butter cookies with Hershey's Kisses in them, chocolate chunk, ginger cookies, which I don't eat, oatmeal raisin cookies, which I don't eat, but all the other stuff that I like. And they're out. You don't even have to pop open a top to get one. And all the kids get them, and I know I'll have one too. I got to get some self-control. I got nothing. So go in there, an extra 6 pounds or 5 pounds, and doctor's like, Bruce, you fat slob. You really should lose some weight. But the only thing about my doctor that I don't like, well, the one thing I do like, which I think is incredible, he makes me get my blood tests, do all the tests before I go see him. Because is there anything worse than having your doctor call you after the visit, after you take your blood test, you visit the doctor, you talk to him, there's nothing to say? Because all this stuff's going to come back in the blood work. And then he calls you on the phone and he's distracted and you're at work because you tried to call him back 3 times. Oh, yes, Dr. Goldberg. He goes, yes, your LDC is 400 and your QPV and your QVC and TLC and, the Hallmark network. So it's like, what's going on there? So this guy I take the test before, gives me the results. When I get there, talks about it. He says, this is good, that's bad, this is good, this is good, this is good. But he weighs me with all my clothes on. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm under 190. I'm like 185 or so. Get in there, I'm like 188 or 191. I'm like, doctor, can we take the clothes off? Come on. I'm working at a goal. Every 10 pounds is a goal. And if you're going to put me over 190, then what the hell is the difference? Let me give me one of those paper napkins I can put on and see what happens. And then lastly, this is the last story I'm going to tell you because I thought this was very funny. Your boy went to a dermatologist, right? I haven't been to a dermatologist in 20 years. Everybody says you got to be careful. Go. So we have to take our youngest to the dermatologist. So they have a whole practice. I said, I'll sign up, do that. I go in there and no problems with the doctor, no problems with anything. See, no complaints. But they give me a clipboard and they're like, write out all of this stuff. So I'm starting to write out this stuff. I filled out all the pre-work, which was like half of my life there. But then I filled out all the pre-work, but I get there and I still got to write stuff out. And so they're like, they call me like that. I was like, holy smokes. Normally you go to doctor's office. It takes 25 minutes before you get in there. Bam. Dermatology. I guess they do it quick, you know. They take a look, tell you what's wrong, what's right, get the hell out. But anyway, I go back there and I'm trying to fill out the thing. And then they're like, the nurse's assistant or the doctor's assistant comes in, says, take off your clothes, put on this paper towel, and you know, then you can fill out that stuff again. So the doctor comes in, and like seconds later, again, no time to finish this thing. And I felt like it was like that dream on a Sunday night where you're taking a test and you're naked. I mean, I told her that too. I said, oh my God, I've never felt so much pressure. I'm glad we're not taking my blood pressure here because I got a paper I got to fill out. I'm naked, and then everyone's looking at me. It was ridiculous. But it was funny. I made her laugh. Made myself laugh too. That's always a good thing because it's hard for me right now. It's hard for me. I'm not finding the depth in stuff. Are you feeling that way? Is that happening with you with COVID and the pandemic, etc.? Things I used to really like, now they're like, I don't hate anything, but I'm just like, It's like nothing has flavor anymore. It's gotten so bad that I went off a light beer and I just bought Budweiser today because I was like, I need full flavor. Everything is sort of half. I need full. And that's how I'd go with my life. The program's called Outside Looking In. My name is Bruce Negrin. We do this when I feel like doing it. All right? You can't tell me what to do. If you want more podcasts and you want to hear more opinion, then give me a call. Send me an email. It's brucenice@yahoo.com. Get on the Facebook page, Outside Looking In with Bruce Negrin. Subscribe, like, do all of this kind of stuff. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We're on Google. We're on all of this stuff. Oh, what's the big one? iHeart. That's where I am. You see me in the street. You see me on the, at the supermarket. I'm accessible. Talk to me. And I do want to thank the people who have listened because it's funny. A lot of people have said, luckily so far, a lot of people have agreed with what I've talked about, so I haven't had anybody coming up and getting in my face or so. But I do appreciate it. Thank you for listening. The program's called Outside Looking In. My name is Bruce Negrin, and I will talk to you next week.